Racism is a system of all for one and one for all. When Deion goes out there with his team, he's not facing the coach across the field. He's facing all of the white coaches collect. Every game for Deion is Deion versus the NCAA white male coaching fraternity. I'm willing to bet you Deion is getting phone calls from white coaches who say they wish him the best. And right after they call Deion, they get right back on the Ku Klux coaches group call. Right after they give Deion fake support, they jump right back on the Ku Klux coaches conference call and keep planning against Deion. But this is what I want to talk to you about tonight. This is what I want to talk to you about tonight. With Ancestor Garvey on my chest, with Ancestor Garvey on my heart, this is what I want to talk to you about tonight. Deion Sanders. I don't want to talk about my disappointment with him abandoning the HBCU mission. We've already talked about that. Tonight's conversation about Deion Sanders is going to be about the sensitivity and hypocrisy of white narcissism, the plot to take down Deion Sanders by the white head coaches of the NCAA. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. If you look at how the white coaches are organizing against Deion Sanders, you will earn yourself a good lesson in the nature, the function, the philosophy, and the execution of white racism in America. If you're paying attention to what they're trying to do to Deion Sanders, you will get a good lesson in the nature of racism. What do I mean by this? The white coaches of the NCAA versus Deion Sanders. What do I mean by this? We're talking about the sensitivity of white narcissism tonight. We're talking about the sensitivity of white narcissism tonight. Case study Deion Sanders. Case study Deion Sanders. Point number one. Point number one. Point number one. One black male's success is a threat to the whole white power structure. Deion Sanders is showing you that one black male's success is a threat to the entire system of white supremacy. Now, I'm not holding up Deion as a hero because he abandoned HBCUs, so he's not a hero. But nonetheless, what he's going through, and I wish him well because I don't want to see no black man taken down. I wish him well. I don't want to see any black man taken down. I stand by my brother. Although I disagree with his actions, he's still my brother. But what Deion Sanders is showing you is the success of a single black man in the system of white supremacy is a threat to the entire foundation of white supremacy. Why should we care? Why are you on my live? Let me get rid of you. You shouldn't be here. There we go. There we go. Deion Sanders is showing you they can't even have one. NCAA college football has been dominated by fat white men since the beginning of time. NCAA college football has been dominated by fat white men in the coaching ranks since the beginning of time. Old white males dominate NCAA college football coaching. It is a fraternity. And even though You have all these white males who have dominated the sport for decades. They are so narcissistic, so racist, so power struck that they can't allow a black man a single season of success. Deion Sanders is a fan favorite of America. He's a fan favorite. People love Deion Sanders. But what you need to understand as you are learning about Deion Sanders, they can love you, they can cheer for you, they can root for you, they can watch your games. But the minute you challenge the status quo, the minute you challenge the status quo, I'm going to block you too. I'm not trolling, Deion. I speak facts, my brother. I speak facts, so I got to block you on that. Go find your snow bunny. Go find your snow bunny and get off my live. Go find your snow bunny. Go find your flat Pillsbury biscuit pink pudding pop. Go get your flat-assed Pillsbury dough biscuit pink Pop-Tart and get your ass up off my live. Deion Sanders is showing you that they can't tolerate one. Not even one can succeed against the system of white male domination. We're beyond white supremacy. We are dealing with white male domination. White male domination of sports, white male domination of entertainment, white male domination of mass incarceration, white male domination of the economy, white male domination of the military, white male domination of higher education. We're talking about white male domination. If I can allow a single black man to succeed, that means I operate on a platform of domination. When you dominate something, complete control. Nobody else can breathe. Nobody else can participate. This is domination. Deion Sanders is threatening the white male domination of NCAA football coaching ranks. They love you until you try to become equal to them. They love you until you try to compete with them. They love you until you try to undermine their privilege. They love you until you forget your place as a Negro. You can be with us, but you must be beneath us. You can be with us, but you must be behind us. You can be with us, but you must be beside us. You must never compete with us. You must never outpace us. You must never be victorious against us. This is white male domination. And now you understand why there's such an important agenda to rainbow gang all black boys in public education. Because the only black male they are safe around is a rainbow ganged black male. What's another lesson from the Deion Sanders saga against white male domination in NCAA football coaching? And this is why I always teach, never separate the individual Caucasian from the system of Caucasian domination. They go together. Some of you Negroes will say there's some good white people. They're not all the same. We can't blame white people for what the government does, what the system does. Look at Deion Sanders. When the white male coaches didn't get their way, what did they do? They turned to the system to help them bring Deion down. Never separate white people from the white power structure. They are one and the same. The coaches are now appealing to the system of NCAA racism to change the recruiting rules to stop Deion Sanders from getting all the best recruits in next year's recruiting class. They know that if everything is fair, if everything is equal, Deion Sanders may have the best team ever assembled in college football next year. They can't afford for Deion Sanders to have the best team ever assembled in college football next year. So the individual white racist coaches are turning to the racist NCAA to change the recruiting rules so Deion won't have a natural advantage over them. They want to change the rules after all these years to disadvantage a single black coach. The Deion Sanders situation shows you how racism operates. If I can't beat you by myself, if we can't gang up and beat you together, we're going to go to the system. We're going to go to the system and we're going to ask the system to change the rules so we can beat you. White people, white government, no difference. White people, white systems, no difference. White people, white institutions, no different. And to the Caucasians on my live, you know I'm telling the truth. Y'all can't stand to be beaten by a black person. Y'all tolerate defeat on the athletic field. Y'all tolerate defeat in the field of entertainment and sports because your stereotypes include the belief that Africans are animalistic. And because Africans are animalistic, we will excel white people because of our animalistic DNA. So we can run faster than you because we're animals. We can jump faster than you because we're animals. We can tackle harder than you because we're animals. We can sing and dance better than you because we're animals. This is your philosophy. So white people can tolerate losing to blacks in entertainment and athletics. But when it comes to the business of entertainment, when it comes to the business of athletics, they can't tolerate it because they're supposed to be smarter than us. And since they're supposed to be smarter than us, they cannot allow us to surpass them in any aspect of business. And college coaching is an aspect of business. The coaches do not play. They strategize and they prepare. That is intelligence. That is business. Coaches do not play. They're afraid that Deion Sanders is going to Jackie Robinson NCAA football. They are afraid that Deion Sanders is going to Jackie Robinson NCAA football. They are afraid that Deion Sanders may Jackie Robinson NCAA football, and they don't like it. If he succeeds at a high level, more black coaches will be given an opportunity. It's the same thing with golf. It's the same thing with football, basketball. Everything we get in, when the playing field is equal, we always exceed all expectations because we are the chosen people. I've told you before, I'm going to tell you again, we are the chosen people. I'm going to tell you before, this ain't got nothing to do with no Israel. This ain't got nothing to do with no Bible. This ain't got nothing to do with no Quran. This ain't got nothing to do with nobody's religion. This has to do with African DNA. We are the chosen people because we are the first people. We're older than you Hebrews. We're older than you Moors. We're older than the Muslims. We're older than the Christians. We're older than everybody. We are the ancient people of the planet Earth. We are the chosen ones. It's that simple. No disrespect to the religious brothers. But my flag is red, black, and green. No disrespect. But I'm repping RBG all day, every day. Now, getting back to my point. White football coaches are afraid Deion Sanders is going to Jackie Robinson the coaching ranks. Now, here's the interesting thing. White males have been dominating black males in America socially, politically, academically, economically, as a group for 400 years. For 400 years, you have dominated African males in this country. But they still can't even let Deion win one time. This is why racism is the most sensitive yet diabolical system ever created, because they cannot acquiesce defeat. White supremacy cannot acquiesce defeat. Because at the heart of racism is a deep-seated neurosis of insecurity. I want y'all to listen to me right now. I want y'all to listen to me right now. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism. Nobody teaches you like I teach you. Nobody on this planet teaches African people like I teach African people. I don't give a damn who you name. Nobody. At the heart of white supremacy is a deep-seated neurosis of insecurity. What you need to understand about neurotic people, they are preoccupied with preserving their self-image. A neurosis is in many ways a paranoia about your insecurities. A neurosis is a preoccupation about your insecurities. The European male is extremely neurotic about his insecure control of the planet Earth. Hence, his need for extreme domination of African males in every sector of society. He can hardly sleep. He can hardly sleep. He's a numerical minority. He's a numerical minority. He's a genetic recessive. Everything he has, he stole it from somebody else. Everything. Show me a place on earth that the European didn't steal from another group. Show me. And one thing that Europeans don't like to come to grips with, especially in America, especially in the UK, France, Portugal, Belgium. The greatness of your society was built on the dehumanization of other people. How can you be proud? The greatness of France was built on the dehumanization of Africans. The greatness of Britain was built on the dehumanization of Africans. The greatness of Portugal was built on the dehumanization of Africa. The greatness of Spain was built on the dehumanization of The greatness of America was built on the dehumanization of African people. And this is why I take issue with you loyal ninjas of European republics. There is nothing more insulting to our ancestors There is nothing more insulting to our ancestors than for a Negro who lives off the blood of their ancestors, who lives off the courage of their ancestors, who live off the struggle of their, who lives off the, we are here because they, our forebears, decided to struggle through the pain. You're not here because America freed you. You're not here because of no Civil War. You're not here because of no 13th Amendment. You are here because your ancestors had the guts to brave the worst dehumanization campaign in human history. That's why you're here. And then after all we've been through, after all we went through, you Negroes will turn around and say, I love my country. In France, you Negroes will say, I love my country. In Belgium, you Negroes will say, I love my country. In Holland, you Negroes will say, I love my country. In Britain, you Negroes will say, I love my country. In Spain, you Negroes will say, I love my country. Right here in America, you Negroes will say, I love my country. Well, a country is not much more than its history. So if a country is not much more than its history, if you say you love your white country as an African, if you say you love your white country as an African, you're saying you have no problem with slavery. You have no problem with white supremacy. You have no problem with Jim Crow. You have no problem with colonization. There's no way a black person on this earth can say, Snow bunny alert. Snow bunny alert. Snow bunny alert. There's no way a black person in this world living in a white country can say, I love my country without spitting on the grave of every African who suffered the injustice of slavery and colonization. You are a disgrace to your race. The white man's superiority complex is so delicate. The white man's superiority complex is so delicate that the mere sight of a successful black man in his industry is cause for paranoia. Think about that. One black male in a sea of Caucasian piranhas. One black male goldfish in a sea of Caucasian piranhas. One black male goldfish in a sea of Caucasian piranhas, and the piranhas automatically result to neurotic deliberation and paranoid delusion. And now you know why they want a rainbow gang and transformer every black boy in European society. Now you know why they want a rainbow gang and transform every black boy in European society. Every white coach is uniting to keep one black man down. Everyone. See, what you got to understand about racism, it is all for one and one for all. Racism is all for one and one for all. Racism is all for one and one for all. Every Division I coach is uniting to try to manipulate the system to destroy Deion. This is why I always tell you, you never fight one of them, you fight all of them. You might not know you're fighting all of them, but you're fighting all of them. Racism is a system of all for one and one for all. When Deion goes out there with his team, he's not facing the coach across the field. He's facing all of the white coaches collect. Every game for Deion is Deion versus the NCAA white male coaching fraternity. Every game, he's playing against all the coaches. Every game. This is how racism works. You don't fight one of them. But they will manipulate your silly, politically undeveloped African mind, and they will act like they're on your side. I'm willing to bet you Deion is getting phone calls from white coaches who say they wish him the best. I'm willing to bet you Deion is getting phone calls from white coaches who say they wish him the best. I'm willing to bet you Deion is getting phone calls from white coaches who say they wish him the best. And right after they call Deion, they get right back on that KKK group call. They get right back on the Ku Klux coaches group call. Right after they give Deion fake support, they jump right back on the Ku Klux coaches conference call and keep planning against Deion. Stop letting racism psychologically disarm you.